Hi, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. I want to take a look at Pam Bondi, the Attorney General for now the General for the United States. I wanted to take a quick look at her astrology, her numerology, and her tree of life. Um, this is the type of reading that these are the type of readings looking at people that you're interested in looking at are the kind of things that I'll be doing on my membership. Um, I do these, I've done these for years anyway when I didn't have a membership, and I don't have a membership yet. I'm going to boot camp for that. So, whatever that is. Um, but I did want to get this out because she intrigues me somewhat, and I thought we could take a look at her. So, I think what I'd like to start with is her let's start with her numerology. So, um, all right, here we go. This is Pamela Joe Bondi. That is her full name. Um, and this is her tree of life right here. And so I have indicated some things on the tree of life and on the numerology. And when you look at somebody's name, the name that they were born with, it's sort of the vibration that they come in on. And so your name can reflect what your soul has been working on for lifetimes. Your name can reflect your talents and abilities. It also reflects what you yourself need to stay in good relationship with. It's sort of like the tools that you get to come into this life with. And then your day of birth, which is also called the life lesson or the path of life, is where you learn your lessons. And then that we get from the birthday and month, day, and year. And then we have something called the shadow, which is something that I've only ever heard my teacher speak of, but I find it in my practice to be very helpful to get to the core issue, the healing place. Now, I will say that the shadow can be a very personal space, and unless you know the person or have some, um, most people don't live their lives in the public eye, so you don't really know where the darkness sort of lies. But you can get some ideas, and you can get some. We can see where some of the challenges may be for her. So, and each one of these numbers is associated with a tarot card, and that is the system that I use. And so when we add her vowels together, the vowels in your name are considered your inner self, your inner feminine side. It's much more introspective, it's much more of a personal place. People who know her well will recognize this vibration. Maybe not so much people who don't. Um, when we add her vowels together, we get a 28-1 vibration. So you always look at the base number. One is the individual, one is the pioneer, one is the first, first online, first in the breach. Um, the 28-1 is actually an Aries vibration in the system that I use. And of course, it takes on a lot of those Aries qualities, leap before you look. It can be very impulsive, especially the 28-1 can be a very impulsive energy. However, it is her soul energy. And so when it's your soul energy, we know that she's been working on this energy for a long time. And so she has a certain control of it. And however, she also needs to stay in good relationship with it. And so somebody with a one soul cannot compromise their own soul for, say, a relationship, right? As an example, for somebody else. Um, then we look at her consonants, and the consonants are the outer masculine. So this is the Pam Bondi that we get to experience. And she actually has two vibrations. She has an 11 there, which is the vibration of justice, cosmic justice, as it were. the Justice card. It's a Libra energy. And we also have a 26-8. And the 26-8 is this card. It's the Page of Wands, the messenger. The messenger. So she has some messenger spirit here along with um, the vibration of the Justice card, which I'm looking to pick out of my deck. Here is her soul vibration. This is the 28-1 in the system. So somebody who's looking to see how she can affect the world, right? She's got the world in her hands. This is sort of creating your own reality kind of energy to a certain extent. And it's fire. And so we see she has two fire elements, this being her inner and this being her outer self. And then we have the Libra energy that comes with the Justice energy. I'm still looking for that card. Just give me a moment here. If for some reason I can't find Justice, is that an omen? Is that an omen to this reading? Okay, so then there's Justice, right? And then we take these two vibrations and we add them together and we get a third vibration, and that's called the expression. And the expression is how we find balance between the inner and outer self. Now she has two fire vibrations here. This vibration is actually an air vibration, and it is a Gemini vibration. It's actually the third decan of Gemini. And does she have anything in Gemini? Yes, she has Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is the planet of law. She also has Jupiter in the last decan of Gemini, which is the decan that her expression 54-9 sits in. See, third decan of Gemini. The 9 is a vibration of it's people who have 9s in their chart come up against the best and the worst people. It's a humanitarian vibration. It's a healing vibration, and it's a vibration in which we need to be very forgiving. Now, she doesn't strike me as a particularly forgiving person. So I don't know how she's working that. But the 9 does deal with crime, and so she perhaps expresses herself by being an attorney and fighting crime, I guess we could say, or fighting what's not right. Um, the thing about the 54-9 is that in order for it to really function well, is you need to make sure that the inside and the outside are the same. So sort of what you see is what you get kind of energy. And I feel like she kind of is that what you see is what you get kind of energy. And I don't think many of the people I know are going to really like it, because I think she's going to be uh, tough, and I think she's going to be highly influenced by Donald Trump. But we'll see, we'll see. And I'm still looking for the 54-9. The 54-9 vibration is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords can be the spy in the camp. The Knight of Swords can be the whistleblower. So it's very possible that she could show that tendency. Although up to this point, from what I can read, she's really just, uh, she's really just working the, what's that called? Oh, shoot, the party line. Here's her expression. So this is somebody who's bright, somebody who's willing to do things that nobody else has done. Her outer personality, that 26-8, the 8 is a vibration of the boss, the manager. So people see her as that. In fact, she's good at managing people. Plus, she does have a master number here, the 11. And when you have 11s in your chart, you really are held to a higher standard. Doesn't mean you live up to it, but it means that you're held to a higher standard. And she does have an understanding that as you sow, so shall you reap. So I have to believe somewhere that she understands that there is such a thing as the wrong thing. I'd like to think that. All right. So then if we look at her date of birth, her path of life, what is she here to learn? We add her birthday. Her birthday is the 17th of November, 1965. And we add that all together, we get a 59 over 4. Now, this is a very different energy. This is actually a water vibration. The 59, the 49 over 4 in the tarot is the 9 of cups. And I will pull it out. And it's the wish card. It used to be one of my favorite cards before MAGA, because now every time I look at it, I see a fat guy with all the cups behind him, not willing to share, with a big red hat on his head. So maybe someday I can get in a better relationship again with this card, but this is her path of life. So it's about satisfaction. It's located on the Tree of Life in a place called Yesod. Yesod means foundation. And it is a 4. So 4 is about building a foundation. And it's in the place of foundation. It's connected to her moon. Now, she has a very powerful conjunction of the moon. Very well, I can't say that. She has her moon in Virgo. I don't have an accurate birth time, but her moon is definitely in Virgo. So it's either very close to a Uranus-Pluto conjunction, very tight Uranus-Pluto conjunction. Those two planets conjoined in 1965 and 1966. So all the people in 65 and 66 have a close conjunction. Some of the conjunctions are balsamic, some of the conjunctions are new phase. I believe she has a new phase. We'll look at it when we get to her chart. But it's a very powerful energy for cultural change, and she has her moon in the same sign at least, and maybe conjunct that. The 49 over 4 is cups, and it is Pisces, and it is about healthy boundaries, but Pisces really doesn't have healthy boundaries. Pisces is a sign of the dissolution of boundaries. But it doesn't mean that if you have a 49-4, you don't have boundaries. You're here to uh, learn about boundaries, perhaps, and it can also be it's sort of like a square filled with water, and it's hard for those waters they need to be filtered unless they get stagnant, or there needs to be a constant flow so that there isn't stagnant. And so this can sort of be stagnant emotional energy. Um, and it is in her chakra, her sacral chakra, which is a water chakra. Um, and this is the chakra around sex, power, and money. So in a way, she's learning the lessons of sex, power, and money. She's learning the lessons of how to build a foundation. And because Yesod is associated with the moon and she has her moon of Virgo, generally moon of Virgo is somebody who's a very hard worker. So she will work hard for this, okay? She will work hard for this. But it's also important, because it's a Pisces energy, to make sure that your emotions are being filtered, that you don't get stuck in like a toxic situation. All right, so that's her lesson in life. So she's learning how to put up boundaries. She's learning how to build power. She's learning how to create a firm foundation for herself. And then the last vibration is that I look at is the shadow. And we get the shadow by taking her first name, Pamela, which vibrates to a 21. That's the world card in the tarot. And we add the 17, and we get 38. So her shadow is a 3811. Now, an 11 shadow is somebody who, in their previous lifetimes, had a choice between the light and the dark, and they chose the dark. So in this lifetime, there's another opportunity to choose the light. Her shadow sits here in a place on the Tree of Life called Bina. Bina is the place of the divine feminine. And so she's wounded in that place. That Bina is associated with Pisces. I mean, with Saturn, and she has Saturn and Pisces. She has Saturn at 11 degrees of Pisces, the Sabian symbol, men seeking illumination, taking steps to improve oneself. So this is about self-improvement. But your shadow is often a place where you have a blind spot. Now, I want to point out that her soul, that 28-1, is located in Hokmah. Hokmah is the place of the divine masculine. When you have vibrations in Hokmah and Bina, whether they be soul or shadow or lesson, there's always a bit of an issue with parental stuff. Her father, with her soul in Hokmah, was a very, probably a very influential person in her life. Maybe she saw his independence and she, felt aligned with that. But her shadow is in the place of mother, and she may have had a more complex relationship with her mother. I don't know anything about it. The 3811 is the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups. So it's the stainer of emotions. But Bina is the place of the dark night of the soul. So she has suffered through her relationships. And your shadow isn't just this lifetime, but it does encompass previous lifetimes as well. Now she has, this is a Scorpio vibration, and she is a Scorpio. So let's jump to her chart. We'll take a look at that, and we'll come back to this because I do want to talk about her divine triangle. Okay, all right, I think this is it. Okay, so let's just ignore what you're looking at right now. And we'll just go to Pamela. What is it? 33. I think this is all right. Okay, so what we have here, and I'm going to simplify this chart, and then I will add to it. But I want to just keep this as simple as possible to start with. Now, what I've done is I've given her an Aries rising chart. We don't really have an accurate birth time, so it doesn't really matter. We don't know her ascendant. I haven't really looked at her. Some people can look at somebody and see the ascendant. I might think Gemini because she seems kind of mercurial. She's got that little like turned up nose and the blonde hair. I don't know if it's real or not, but it doesn't matter. It's still the way she looks, right? All right, let me stop talking and do what I need to do, and then I'll get right back to you. Okay. So simplified chart, we can see this, maybe if I can find it. All right, here we go. See Aries rising. Um, she has her Sun and Neptune in Scorpio. This combination, they are conjunct, kind of wide, but still conjunct. Anytime Neptune is involved, there can be obfuscation, um, confusion, like boundaries are an issue with this combination. Generally very psychic, but then Scorpio is psychic all on its own, even if Neptune wasn't there. But this is an intense combination. Scorpio is bottom line. This can be a little bit of a religious zealot. Now, I did do a little research and see about the things that she stood for and the things she stood against. She tried to um, there was something about Obamacare she sued for. That was when she was because she was the attorney general in Florida. She was against same-sex marriage. She's an election denier. So, there's a lot of issues with truth here. And is it that she doesn't see the truth and she chooses to see another truth, or is she convinced of her point of view? Now, I will point out that her south node of the moon is in Sagittarius, as is her Mercury in Sagittarius. The south node is the emotions of the past. It's also sort of the direction we're being asked to move away from in order to evolve. She's being asked to move in the direction of Gemini. And of course, we know I said she has Jupiter in Gemini. There's Jupiter in Gemini there at the last degree of Gemini. Um, Jupiter doesn't really like being in Gemini too much because Gemini is details. Jupiter in Gemini can be too many details or not paying attention to the details. Although I think she's very bright and certainly ambitious. She has Mars in Capricorn. She also has a Venus in Capricorn. Two very, and they are new phase to each other. And so she really wants to go out and meet people who are going to advance her ambitions or her career. This is a very career-oriented person. Um, but with the South Node in Sag, South Node in Sag can be somebody who thinks they know it all. And they may know a lot, but they don't know it all, and they're very convinced of their opinions. When you have a North Node in Gemini, this is about looking at various opinions and different sides of things and coming up with, instead of saying this is what I believe and there's nothing you can do to prove me, prove me out of that opinion. The North Node in Gemini says look at the facts, look at the facts. Now that North Node in Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and she has Mercury in Sag. So again, but Mercury in Sag does hold a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. So it's not that she is not necessarily smart. She just may not be, she has a little bit of true believer energy in her, which of course many of these people around Trump seem to have. But when I look at her vibration, when I look at her numbers and I see that she has that 11 in her outer personality. She knows better, but there's a problem emotionally, the way she emotionally connects. There can be enmeshment there, and but she does have that one soul. So there's a part of her that I think could stand up for herself, but she'd have to believe it, and I'm not sure what she believes. If she believes what she says, what she stands for, which is what most people do, then it's going to be a big leap for her to go in any direction but the direction I think that Trump points her into. Now, I do want to add back the asteroids because now that you've seen the simplified chart, I just kind of want to show you her feminine asteroids. That's really what I'm interested in here. So let me get back to the asteroids here. We'll do the esoteric. All right. So this is a couple of other things um, that gave me a little bit of, I guess, hope that this is not just somebody, I feel like she goes along, gets along for her ambition. And that may be what she's doing because, a lot of times people agree and they don't really stand up and stand out because but it depends, I guess, on how important it is to her. But I don't know this woman. So I do want to point out that she has Pallas Athena in the sign of Aquarius. Now, Pallas Athena is the goddess of government, and Aquarius is, well, it could be libertarian, have that libertarian energy, not wanting to pay taxes and all that stuff. She has a conjunct Juno, which is a relationship energy, um, in Aquarius, but Aquarius is humanitarian. So I'd like to give her the benefit of the humanitarian doubt, as it were. Um, she has Chiron in Pisces. Everybody born in the 60s has Chiron in Pisces, but this Chiron in Pisces is conjunct um, Ceres. Ceres is a fertility goddess. She's the goddess of the grain, but she's also the goddess of grief. So she is the mother of Persephone, who was abducted by Hades, went down to the underworld, and her mother was so distraught that she stopped all the crops from growing. and they had to intercede, and they agreed that her daughter Persephone would spend half the time with her husband in the underworld and half the time with her mother in the upper world. And that was sort of the story of the seasons, right? Okay. So, but we do have this reaping energy here with this Chiron. Now, I did look at the Sabian symbol for 19 degrees of Pisces because that's where we have this. And she does have here's her Saturn in Pisces. So we know that there is a theme. Chiron in Pisces can be the abandonment by God. The Ceres energy can be a kind of a death energy, but not just a death energy, kind of a life and death energy. But Chiron at 19 degrees, a master instructs his pupil, transmission. Knowledge is kept alive by teachers who pass their information, understandings, and materials to their students. So there's a couple of her Sabian symbols all indicate this like sense of being almost like an esoteric student, perhaps is a previous life. I mean, certainly with the South Node in Sagittarius, that's a possibility. Very sage sort of energy. She does have Vesta focusing here in Cancer. This is actually on the Sun of the United States. Vesta in Cancer focuses on security and security for the family. So I don't doubt that she said she wants to keep America safe or safer or make America safe again. Of course, a lot of the things that Trump and his other people are not making America safe because, they do, they let the January 6th rioters out. Um, they they stoke division. They defund any kind of U.S. aid going out to help other countries so that those problems don't come back to haunt us, right? And then he makes comments about taking over Gaza, which I don't know, like suddenly he thinks it's his, but he's like that. He thinks everything is his, including Canada, Greenland, and Panama, I guess. But that's another story for another day. She does have that trine, Chiron, and her Ceres, and also really her Neptune. So she could, and then we have this opposite her Venus. So I do feel like she wants to keep things safe, but she's dealing with somebody who's a criminal. And I can't imagine she doesn't know that. So I don't know how that's going to work out. All right, so that's what I see in her. I see somebody very ambitious, very smart, maybe very set in her ways and the way her thinking. But she does have an underlying energy of somebody who's a little bit more of an advanced soul. And if she can overcome her shadow stuff, she might actually be more helpful than harmful in the end. And we can only pray for that, right? Okay. So I just want to go back. One more thing. I want to go back to her. Whew. I want to go back to this right here. So this is her divine triangle. This you can get information on a book called Numerology and the Divine Triangle by Faith Javane and Dusty Bunker. Faith was my teacher's teacher. Um, it's a pretty amazing book. So this is Divine Triangle. Each one of these lines is a 9-year line. So this was Pam Bondi from 1965 to 1974. She was on a 16-7 line those first 9 years of life. That is the Tower card, incidentally. But so these are the ages. Now she is currently just turned 59. She just turned 59. I believe it was the same. No, it wasn't the same day. Pluto was still in Capricorn. She turned 59 after the election, interestingly enough. So, um, and so at 59, she's on this line here. This is the 10-1 is the Wheel of Fortune. And it is associated with Jupiter in the chart. And remember, she has Jupiter at 30 degrees of Gemini, and that's connected to the third decan of Gemini, which is the same as the 54-9. So in a way, this is this is actually an Earth vibration, Earth. But it has that Gemini energy. It is a Gemini energy. And so of course, with Jupiter, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, she is the first attorney general who's female. I can't remember having a female attorney general. Acting, yes, but not the attorney general. Oh, wait a minute. Madeleine Albright, what was she? I think she was an ambassador. Was she attorney general? Okay, I'm sorry if I don't know that. All right. Anyway, she's on this 10-1 line. Now the 10-1 is an energy that it's really important that you stay centered while you watch the world go around. You can't get caught up in the ups and downs of life. And I think she can probably do that, mainly because she's a one soul, and one souls can do that. She's in her wisdom square. Now, I just want to point out her youth square is the Ace of Cups. Her power square is the Nine of Wands. That's the vigilant warrior. That's the person who's protecting their territory, right? Her at the bottom of her power square is the Hanged Man. This is an ability to know what you can affect and affect it, knowing what you can and letting it go. So that would be a power that she possesses. Her wisdom square, however, is the wisdom she accrues from living her life and overcoming her challenges. Most of the challenge, well, anytime you see a square, there's a challenge. But I want to show you where her wisdom lies. And this is her wisdom square vibration. This is somebody who has to learn how to utilize their intuition to get out of sticky situations. This can also be somebody who's a prisoner of their own mind. So there's a lot of indication here that she is somebody who can be stuck in her way of thinking, and it's whether it how that's going to serve her, how that's going to serve us. I can't really comment because you don't ever really know um how things are going to work out. You don't ever really know. There's always two sides to everything and the like, but really what these whoops, sorry guys, what these readings do is it shows you the potential, and it's really up to the individual as to what choices they're going to make. Now I do want to point out that in 2024, on her birthday, which occurred after the election, she moved into a 36-9 vibration. So she's in a 9. Usually when you're in a 9, you don't start new things. It's usually an ending vibration, but she has been elected to be the AG, so she is starting something new. Now, your years, your personal years, and this is the card. This is her year. She's now the Attorney General of the United States, and this is what's ahead of her. Okay. This is the Sagittarius card. It's also located in Malkuth, right where her expression and her quiescent is. So this Malkuth is the place of famous personalities, and it's a very sort of public place. People see you. So she has a lot on her plate. She's coming in with a lot of sort of different ideas that are unorganized. Now, these may not be her ideas that are unorganized. I heard a big bang outside. Now I'm hearing cop cars. Hopefully everything's okay. I want to make sure they're passing. I don't think they passed. Hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay. It's actually a car accident happened right out in front of the house. It looks like everybody's okay, but the police and the fire department are out there, I guess, just to make sure. Um, One of my neighbors, I think, pulling out of their yard. It's a very difficult driveway to pull out of. I'm amazed that it has, that it doesn't happen more often. It's a major street, so it makes it difficult sometimes to pull out of your driveway. Okay. So, yeah, so she's in this 36-9 vibration. And the first part of that until uh, the 17th of March, she's in a subperiod 13-4 death card. This is about letting go of that which no longer serves. And then from 317 to 717, she's going to be in a hanged man portion of her 9 year. She can feel like, but if she knows how to do this, know what you can affect and affect it and what you can't let go of it. And then we have her in the last 4 months, she's in a 9 sub period, which is the hermit. This is wisdom, this is healing. This can also be a loner. This can be like disappears from view kind of energy. And then in 2025 on her birthday, she moves into a 37-1 vibration, which is the King of Cups. The first 4 months of that is a 15-6 vibration, the devil. And so in 2025, after her birthday on the 17th, she has a 4 month period of devil, a 4 month period of death, and then a 4 month period of the Wheel of Fortune. Now, what is important about that is she's moving into a 1 year, which means she's planting new seeds. This is the seeds for her next 9 year cycle. The thing that has me concerned is that the 37-1, the King of Cups, is Donald Trump's shadow vibration. And so, as his attorney general, she may be asked to do some illegal things. Now, I'm not assuming she's done illegal things before because I'm not sure if it's just a belief for her that she believes the lies that are being told to her. I'm not sure. But I think she's going to be faced with a conundrum here, and we'll see what she does with it. I mean, um, I guess we're just going to see. Telling you, man. But I will say that I think that I think that for the most part, I don't agree with anything that she stands for, but I do think that she is a very smart woman. And if she truly has like a higher moral cause, or if it's not just blind ambition, then she may actually end up standing up for some things. It's interesting. They put this guy in charge of the FBI, like temporarily, and then he ended up standing up for the FBI. And they're like, what's this? They weren't expecting him to stand up. And now they want to put this guy, Cash Patel, in. And I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But Pam Bondi's in, and we'll see how we'll keep track of it. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see what part of her nature she decides to go with, if we can even know that, and we'll explore it together. So I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, these will be the type of things I'll have available for my membership. There are plenty of these on this channel already. I've done these on Elon Musk. I've done these on Princess Catherine. I've always a Duchess. I don't know, whatever, Princess, the Duchess of York. Is that what you know? Oh God, I probably said that wrong. Anyway, I got admonished for that. But I'm American. We don't really care about titles, even though we have two malignant narcissists in charge who think they're the kings. Dual kings. We'll see about that. Anyway, take care of yourselves, guys. This is going to be a long slog, and I'm here to help any way I can. So take care of yourselves and have a great day. Namaste.